Hello and welcome to another season of Santosh Trophy 2021, and the second game of Group B in the North Zone qualifiers is between Delhi and Haryana. The Santosh Trophy back with its 75th edition, and it is going to be a fine game between the two teams, and after the goal fest in the previous one between Delhi and Uttarakhand. I am Sohan Poddar in the commentary box. Another exciting season is on the cards. Previous game, of course, Delhi registering a staggering 11-1 victory over Uttarakhand. With that win, Delhi, of course, leading the Group B by collecting full 3 points from their opening game in the North Zone qualifiers. And this, of course, is the second game of the day between Punjab and Haryana. Punjab, of course, the second most successful club in the history of Santosh Trophy, lifting the title 8 times, the second best to Bengal's 32. And the last time, of course, they lifted the trophy was way back in 2007, defeating Services by 1-0. That game was played in Srinagar. The live streaming in social media was not so popularized back then, and that's how long it's been since the last time they lifted this coveted silverware. And here are the two captains with the match officials. The captain of Punjab is Mohammad Asif, one of them who plays slightly deeper than the other. The Punjab shaping up in a 4-4-2 with Harpreet Singh in goal, and Asif and Harmanjot is going to be the two wing backs with Rajat Kumar and Baljit into the hearts of defense. And Tarun Slathia and Amanpreet who will be leading the lines for the men in yellow this evening. And Manveer Singh and Jaginder will look to win the midfield battle tonight. And they will be aided by the likes of Jashandeep Singh and Lakhwinder. And talking about Haryana, Sanjay Singh, the head coach, have gone with a 4-2-4 formation, a formation which is out of fashion for a long period of time. Uh, David Chauhan is the man between the sticks for the team in orange. And these are the lineups. Haryana, as you can see, Vishal and Manjeet going to be the two wing halves, with Amarjeet and Piyush marshalling the defense. Vikas Dalal will be the man the head coach Sanjay Singh will be relying on for goals. Also, the player to watch out for is the number 8, Ashish, along with Mukesh Kumar. This is a lineup of Punjab. A pretty strong bench, as you can see. Inderveer Singh is the number 15, will be hoping to get a few minutes. This is going to be his first ever appearance in the national level competition. It's not a new territory in terms of meeting in this tournament for both the teams. Just in case you've been wondering, it's a Group B game and 4 teams, of course, and these two joined by Delhi and Haryana. And out of these 4 teams, only the top team goes through to the final round, where they will meet the zonal winners. Lots of uncertainty, lots of mystery on whether the tournament will happen or not. But credit needs to be given to All India Football Federation and all those part of the system in making sure this historic tournament happens. Bengal, of course, which is referred as the Mecca of Indian football, lifted the trophy most number of times. And the team which has won it second most time is Punjab, who are in action at present against Haryana. Ramandeep, as you can see, warming up. It's biting cold here in Delhi, the capital of India. Both these teams getting ready to kick off here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Sports Complex in New Delhi. This is game number 2 of the North Zone qualifiers. In case you've joined us, spread the word in social media. Sportscast India will be bringing you all the matches live and exclusive. Sportscast India, of course, the home of Santosh Trophy in North and the South Zone for the time being. A referee blows the whistle and we're off. So lots of homegrown players, both these sides in a way, have optimized not just playing football. They will be aiming to win the title, but at the same time, their eye will be also to develop the sport, develop players in their own region. That is the objective of the tournament. And 320 kilometers separating these two sides. The vast country like India, 320 kilometers is nothing. But in the game of football, 1 point means everything. It's been a long wait for the football fans of Punjab. The last time the national title was brought back to Punjab was via Minerva Punjab, winning the Hero I League in 2017-18 season. But when it comes to the Hero Santosh Trophy, the last time they won it was 14 years ago. They came a shade close in 2017, lost to West Bengal in the final. Punjab won of early free kick, the first real foray into the box. The number 11 Vinay gets his body in between the ball, but has been kept alive at the far post, looking for space to send this one in. But will be winning a corner kick for his efforts. It's foggy out here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Sports Complex in New Delhi. A temperature of 20 degrees Celsius as Punjab on the front foot right from the off, piling on the pressure, an in-swinging floater towards the number 2. Can't get his head to it. A chance for a crossing opportunity by the goalkeeper. And I think the number 2 has received a smack on his head. It's the skipper, Mohammad Asif. This is the bench of Haryana. All of them keeping an eye on this game. They will be hoping to come away with at least a point against the heavyweights Punjab. That will not be a bad result for Haryana. But if they manage to pick up full 3 points, it's going to be a bonus for them. Delhi already sitting comfortably at the top of the table with 3 points and with a goal difference of plus 10. That is going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of the chasing packs, as only one team is going to go through from the Group B in the North Zone qualifiers. And not just North Zone, of course, in only the zonal winners will go through to the final round, which is to be held in January in Kozhikode and Manzeri in Kerala. Trying to build up from behind is Haryana. Is the number 6, Manveer Singh. Plays it on the left to Harmanjeet. There are 3 under 21 players in the starting 11 of Punjab. Trying to wriggle his way into the box. Shoots from distance. A first warning shot fired in already. But David Chauhan was alert and smothers the ball. A nice sharp turn. Had a goal on his side. And Tarun Slatia trying to test the goalkeeper. Still early doors, but Punjab looking very promising within the first 3.5 odd minutes. Goalkeeper David Chauhan comes out and clears it out to safety. And the number 11 Vinay trying to control it, but trickles out for a Haryana throw-in. From the East Zone, Bengal have already qualified. They defeated Chhattisgarh by 2-0 at the Kalyani Municipal Corporation Stadium, followed by a 1-0 victory over Sikkim, who was also in contention. Lost to Bengal by a solitary goal. In the South Zone, As well, Karnataka already booking their place into the final round. That pass for Amanpreet was just behind, making it easy for the defenders to pick up the loose ball and clear. Launches it long, and the chase is on. Ramandeep is the man who was chasing it. But the number 4, Rajat Kumar, was having yards advantage over the attacker. Over the top, into the path of the number 17. And that was Harmanjeet joining in the party, going on the overlap. Giving away a free kick to Haryana, deep inside their own half. It is Amarjeet who will be taking this. Lots of happenings in the world of football, where the calendar tries to catch up with what has been a very difficult period for the entire globe due to the ongoing pandemic. But the return of football always gives joy, always makes us think that things can be better in the future, in case of the young players, of course, and not just for Delhi, but also for Haryana and Punjab. Hardeep, the coach, sticks to the principle of defending deep and hitting teams on the break. But this evening against a lightweight Haryana, he will be looking to go with all guns blazing and try and get the opening goal as soon as possible. Here comes the ball, angled in across towards Amanpreet. The goalkeeper saw the danger and got there first. The number 10 was way off the mark. That cross from the right and eventually not finding its target. Here's the number 22, spreading it out wide on the far right. Cushions it behind to his right back, Vishal. Takes route 1 straight into the box. Gutsy defending there by Punjab. This is what they are well known for. Punjab are a very tall, imposing side. Playing those long balls against them. Not gonna help Haryana. As their centre back, Baljeet, looks to be in pain. A referee seeks for medical intervention. 7 minutes on the clock. Is the team in yellow seeing a lot more of the ball, tossing it around, looking to split open the Haryana defense. At least in one of those occasions, within the first 2.5 minutes, almost managed to catch Haryana off guard. But the goalkeeper, David Chauhan, was very alert. Punjab will look to win this by a handsome margin. As you can see, the number 17, Harmanjeet, the under 21 player, is currently limping. A referee just asking him to leave the pitch and get treated on the sidelines. And here is the number 7, Jashandeep. Restarts play with a short throw in. That ball was hoisted long, clutching his knee. Is the number 9, Tarun Slatia. Referee rewarding a free kick to Punjab. There was a nudge from behind by the number 15, God of Negi. And this is one area which Haryana got to be very careful of and not to give away set pieces to Punjab in imposing positions. They can hurt you given the kind of height they've got in their squad. As the number 2 gets plenty of height in this cross towards the far post. Keeper comes out and gets enough of his glove on that one. It will be retrieved back into the danger area. The number 7, not a very confident header. It's still kept alive by the number 9. Pulls it behind the shot on the turn. Goes over the bar. Good passage of play here by Punjab. And it was Amanpreet with the final attempt before it was kept alive by Tarun Slatia, who took it almost through the grasp of the goalkeeper and setting up the number 10, who shot on the turn, who was blazed over the bar. And Haryana very, very lucky and not to have conceded. They are knocking the door Punjab, a dominating play already. The number 6, Manveer Singh, trying to influence proceedings from the middle of the park by spraying those passes, making uh, the wingers active, using the outlet, the width offered by Lakwinder and Jashandeep. One on the right, the other one on the left. And Haryana, a pinned off silence on their bench. As you can see, their manager Sanjoy Singh knows his team is something his team aren't doing right. It will be interesting to see for how long they can hold on to the strong Punjab side, as Harpreet Singh had to leave his mark in order to collect the ball. In case of both the teams, hopefully both the teams will play with the same favor and zeal, supporting this football team as the team gets ready for the national championship campaign. Now getting involved is Armanpreet. He's got options on the left in the likes of Lagwinder, sending in a teasing delivery, but pretty close to the goalkeeper David Chauhan, who had no problems whatsoever, and straight into the palms of the waiting goalkeeper. I would have been happy if the ball reached into the part of the waiting striker, and that's what Hardeep Singh will be wanting to see from his boys. Again, hacked over the top. Punjab looking to win the second ball, and now it's been smacked clear. Underneath it was Baljit Singh. Went in for the 50-50 challenge. Referee flashing out a yellow card. Let's see. Both the players going for the ball. There was no malice intended. A cheap foul conceded by Manjeet on the number 11 Lakwinder, and deservingly getting a yellow card. One more chance for Punjab to make this a set piece opportunity count. They're getting numbers inside the box, trying to crowd out Haryana. The ball floated in, headed out to safety. Back to the number 7. The cross is blocked. He will get one more go at it. Plays it back to his support on the right channel, who cushions it behind to his centre back. And Punjab will look to restart and rebuild using their goalkeeper Harpreet. Here is Rajat Kumar. Jashandeep checking his run. Harmanjot. A pass is misplaced. It's been picked up by the number 15 of Haryana, God of Negi. The space forward quickly plugged by the midfielders of Punjab. And now they're knocking down the middle. He's lost the ball, the number 6 Manveer Singh. And this could be trouble for Punjab as the number 10 of Haryana getting involved, Ramandeep. He was looking for support, and the support didn't come in, eventually losing out on the ball. And the possession is switching from one team to the other in the blink of an eye. The cross was slightly deflected. And no problems whatsoever for Harpreet in the end. He grabs hold of the ball, and now he will launch it long. It's getting end to end this game. Decent tempo early on. Both the teams trying to make something happen. Works it to the left. Holding his run, Lakwinder. Last moment deciding to continue. He was hustled off the ball, the number 9, Tarun Slatia. And here's Ramandeep. He's been the most active player so far. He's got options on the left in the likes of the number 9, Vikas Dalal. Ramandeep deciding to go on his own. He's got defenders on his heels. Ramandeep one side, then the other. Can't find his cross in. It takes a deflection of the number 7, Jashandeep, pardon me, who's tracking back to protect his right full back time and again. That is what is the requirement of modern day football. That is what is your responsibility. Being a fullback, you got to track back and support your winger in number 11, escaping the challenge. Both the teams looking to play direct. The Santosh Trophy. It started the way back in 1941 after the President of Indian Football Association and West Bengal's Football Association Sri Manmatha Anath Rai Chaudhary of Santosh and Sir Satish Chandra Chaudhary donated the trophy. At the time of the first tournament, India lacked a proper main championship for football teams. And meanwhile, he will be offside, the number 5. Just mistimed his run. The other two main competitions at the time were the Durand Cup, the Rovers Cup, and the IFA Shield. They were played by the club sides in 1990 in an attempt to bring through more younger players. The All India Football Federation made the Santosh Trophy into an under 23 competition, and since then this move only lasted for 3 seasons before the tournament was reverted to a senior competition. During his time as a head coach of India, I remember the British manager, Bob Houghton, called for the tournament to be discontinued and that it was a wastage of time and talent. He was more aggressive against the tournament after Indian striker Sunil Chhetri injured himself in 2009 at Santosh Trophy and had to miss the Nehru Cup. As a result, the national team players were not allowed to participate in the tournament that season. This was also eventually reverted in 2013. It was revealed that the AIFF decided that the I-League players would not be allowed to participate in the coveted tournament. The tournament which is in its 75th edition. A tournament which woken up from its glorious past to play a role in the present. Oh, the split opens the defense. He quickly rounds the goalkeeper, the number 9. Can he pick out a man? No, he can't. Excellent tracking back. Vikas Dalal. He will be very disappointed with himself. He had the option of Ramandeep inside the box alongside, picking out the wrong option. For a moment, Punjab had their heart in their mouth. One ball over the top caught their defense jaded. And the number 9 nearly exposing the space behind the defense line of Punjab by quickly rounding the goalkeeper. But credit needs to be given to the skipper Asif. Excellent tracking back by him, preventing Vikas Dalal from troubling the scoreline. A big let-off for Hardeep Singh's boys. In the last season, of course, this particular tournament was not held due to the pandemic. The last time it was played in 2019 in Kolkata. Kerala emerged as the winners by defeating Bengal in the final at the Salt Lake Stadium 4-2 in tiebreaker. Before it was a 1-all draw in a 90 minutes game. Tirthankar Sarkar scored the equalizer from a brilliant free kick for Bengal. 4 players from that Kerala team later on went on to represent Chennai City FC last season in the Hero I-League. This particular tournament continues to play. Continues to be the supply line of the Indian national team in the domestic football. It takes a tumble back on his foot. Sets up for a shot. Not a million miles away. That was a great pullback towards Vinay. Look at that. He lost his footing, regains his balance, setting up for a shot. Can't hit the target. It wasn't too far off. This is where Punjab are affording a lot of spaces to Haryana to exploit. The midfield not closing them down. Jashandeep continuing his run was Tarun Slatia. Excellent covering there by Manjeet. He stood his ground at the right time. Now the first 10 minutes it was all about Punjab, but in the last 5 or 6 minutes and so, Haryana making a comeback, eating up into position, creating a couple of openings. The midfield battle so far has been won by the team in orange, stringing few passes together. Here come Punjab again. Once again, Jashandeep is involved. And this time, it's been headed behind by the number 5 Manjeet for a corner kick for Punjab. They quickly taken. Lakwinder. He's got the number 10 Amanpreet waiting in the box. So has the number 6 Manveer on the left edge of the penalty area. Evades the challenge. Across from deep is towards the goalkeeper, David Chauhan, who's not been troubled much so far, apart from a couple of occasions where he had to come out and punch a few balls clear. No real threats so far for David Chauhan. On the opposite end, Harmanpreet had to come out and arrest a couple of one-on-one situations, almost getting caught in one of the occasions. Harpreet Singh. Amanpreet dropping into midfield, trying to influence proceedings from deep. It's been blocked by Amarjeet. And a misplaced pass, stepping into the attacking half. Punjab once again trying to send the number 7 Jashandeep down the right, but this time he was double teamed. As you can see, the number 15 God of Negi tracking back to protect Manjeet. That is what he needs to keep doing over the course of this 90 minutes. Against a strong side like Punjab, they need to fight for every ball. Meanwhile, Manveer, the referee, eventually pulled up the offside flag, but this time the flag stayed down, and Punjab has opened the scoring here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Some confusion among the Haryana players. This is what I was mentioning. The assistant referee has put his flag up, but the man in the middle continued playing. The last touch coming off a yellow shirt. Some confusion among the Haryana players. They are vociferously protesting the decision. The flag was raised by the assistant referee, but the man in the middle continued play. Seems like the goal will stand. So much to the delight and relief of the vociferous supporters of Punjab back home. They are leading against Haryana by 1-0. Still arguing with the referee is the number 8 Ashish. And all happened so quickly. Arun Chakravarti, the man in the middle, has allowed the goal. The Haryana players are not willing to continue play. The number 8 Ashish is complaining. The assistant referee I just said sorry. That is something uh, exactly, and that is what he's trying to say to the match official, that as soon as that flag was raised, they stopped playing Haryana, thinking it would be an offside. But the man in the middle continued uh, with the game. That is what Ashish is trying to say, who is the skipper of this Haryana side.
Hello.
Devojit Singh Yadav is the fourth official in this game. Robin Xavier, the match commissioner. So Punjab taking the lead here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in the Group B clash between Punjab and Haryana. It is, of course, the North Zone qualifiers. Punjab, the hierarchies of Santosh Trophy, leading by 1 goal to nil against their neighbours Haryana. It's more of a northern derby. But judging by the strength of the team, most of the fans will be willing to call the game between Delhi and Punjab the northern derby, rather than calling Haryana versus Punjab. Delhi, of course, stamped their authority in Group B by registering a staggering 11-1 victory. They're setting the standards already at 27 minutes on the clock. Punjab holding on to that lead. And Haryana will be looking for a quick response, escaping his man. Here is that pass between the line for Ramandeep. He was quickly outnumbered by the Punjab defenders. And lost his balance and lost the ball as well. Once again is clipped over the top. Defender, the goalkeeper, Harpreet Singh comes out. Another team from the South Zone, Karnataka, starting their campaign with a 4-0 victory over Tamil Nadu. Beating his man for pace is the number 9. Here's a low ball in, the number 10, missing it from a close range. A very good save by David Chauhan. Silver reflexes. It's still on here for Delhi with a rasping effort from the edge of the 18-yard box. This time, not hit finding the target. A beautiful play here by the men in yellow. Nearly doubling their money here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. That was a great pullback by Tarun Slatia towards Amanpreet Singh. Couldn't beat the goalkeeper from a handshaking distance. Pondering a sitter, the number 10, is causing all sorts of problem. Tarun Slatia, with his sudden acceleration in close quarters, not allowing the centre backs of Haryana to settle down, making those diagonal runs, dragging the centre backs out of their position, creating space in the middle for the midfielders, the likes of Manveer and Lagvinder, to get in unmarked, overload the box and do the damage. All the matches, of course, are played behind closed door. The Hero Santosh Trophy, which is the national championship, the Hero Women's National Football Championship, also going on in Kerala simultaneously. Lots of footballing action. Sportscast India also bringing you all the domestic leagues along with the Santosh Trophy qualifiers your way by streaming the matches live on the YouTube channel. They have successfully held the Kerala Premier League last season. This season, of course, the matches started with the inter-district football tournament in Kerala, followed by the Madhya Pradesh Premier League football Delhi Senior Division, the Bangalore Super Division matches are still on. A great slide rule ball. Pullback is alive. The goalkeeper reading the danger and getting there before the number 9, Vikas Dalal, could get to the ball. Harpreet Singh, very aware of his surroundings. That was a fine ball, channeled in by Amanpreet Singh. Under pressure, still showing his balance there. Jaginder Singh, Jashandeep scoops it into the feet of Harmanjeet. He overplayed it. And the ball is back with Haryana. Vishal. And nicely tossing it up. The danger is being cut away by Manveer Singh. Half an hour gone. Here are the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. Punjab still leading by 1-0 against Haryana. The 8-time champions. Already off to a flyer. But a goal's lead is never safe in a game of football. Those are the cushions which can be popped very soon. Though they will be looking for that insurance goal for Hardeep Singh. It will be playing on the back of their mind that Delhi won their previous game, won their opening game earlier in the day against Uttarakhand by 11-1. So the goal difference is going to matter a lot. Head to head, of course, will be taken into consideration first. Can Punjab win this one and keep the pressure on Delhi? They are playing catch up at present. The men in yellow, clearly the better side so far. In the number 7, nodding it into his path. It's a great ball towards an onrushing winger. Just taken away from his feet. It goes out for another corner kick for Punjab. Now this is the 4th corner for the men in yellow. The team in yellow in the ascendancy. But they got to make this set piece opportunity count. As the number 7, Jashandeep, getting ready to take this one. It's clipped towards the back post, knocked back into the middle. Headed away, not too far. Trying to get involved with Jashandeep. Is committing a foul. Slight nudge from behind on the number 22 of Haryana. Mukesh Kumar. They have fielded 2 under-21 players in the starting lineup. Haryana. Punjab, of course, have fielded 3. Keeper off his line. Tried his luck from distance. Tarun Slatia not getting the right power on that. Successfully collected by the goalkeeper. He's got a couple of orange shirts ahead of him. Pulls it back. And non-nonsense clearance. by Amarjeet. And now the break is on for Haryana. He's got a man in the center, pulls it across the face of the goal. Joining in on the overlap is the number 15. He will take it onto his favorite right foot. No gap to send this one in first time. Plays it back to Vishal. A switching play with a crossfield ball. It was nicely tracked by the number 11, Lakwinder. We are midway through the first half. It's been an entertaining half of football so far. Both the teams looked threatening while going forward. With the men in orange trying to impose themselves on the ball. On the flip side, Punjab trying to relying more on successful execution of set pieces, even though their goal came via an open play. And losing out the ball very cheaply this time. Ramandeep. And every time Haryana going forward, the creative responsibility falls on Amandeep's shoulder. Now he is down, clutching his left knee. Ramandeep Singh. Just playing off the shoulder of Vikas Dalal, the number 9, who came very close in scoring the opening goal for Punjab, for Haryana, pardon me. But he will be cursing his accuracy in the northeast zone. The games that are being played at the Kumar Lampak Stadium in Imphal, it is very evenly poised with Mizoram on top of the points table with 6 points from 2 games. Their victory in the opening game by a solitary goal against Nagaland, followed by a 1-0 victory over Tripura. On the flip side, Manipur winning their opening game by 3-0 against Nagaland, but lost 2-0 to Tripura. So the game between Mizoram and Manipur is going to be a very enticing affair at the Kumar Lampak Stadium. Meanwhile, here in Delhi, Amanpreet's goal separating the two teams so far. Matches are also going on in Shillong tomorrow. Arunachal Pradesh will take on Meghalaya. Meghalaya, of course, winning their opening game against Assam by 3-0. Manipur and Mizoram are the only two teams from the northeastern part of India who've won the tournament, one apiece. Manipur won it way back in 2002, and Mizoram winning it in 2013-14 edition. Since winning that Santosh trophy, we saw a massive boost to the game of football in that particular state. They went on to play the finals of the Federation Cup the very next season, even though they lost to Mohan Bagan. But the very next season they managed to win the Hero I League. Yeah, Aizawl FC. That was a fairy tale story. A story that made waves even outside India. Khalid Jamil becoming the youngest ever Indian coach winning the National League. Khalid Jamil, of course, at present is in charge of Northeast United in the Hero ISL. Both the teams struggling to retain control of the ball for too long. We can see a bit of hastiness in between the two sides, but Punjab won't mind that. They're playing a very steady game. They're keeping a very compact defense, holding a deep line. You can see certain calculation in their approach play. Haryana trying to draw them out in order to exploit the spaces behind the defense. And every time Punjab moving forward, you can see they're making players available between two defenders. That's a nice 360 chance to shoot. The last touch coming off a Haryana defender. That was Harmanjeet who was in the way. The number 3 is solidly built. He's not to be blamed for that goal conceded by Haryana. There was a bit of a miscommunication between the match officials and the players. In the end, Haryana was left ball watching, and meanwhile, ball watching is Punjab, getting his foot in and snuffing out the danger is Rajat Kumar, and quickly moving the ball ahead. Here's Manveer, gazing for options, finds the number 10, the goal scorer, Amanpreet Singh. Harpreet Singh. And the ball is chested down by the number 19, Jaginder. Once again, cut opens the Haryana defense, shrugs off the challenge, is off the outside of the post. And the number 9, Tarun Slathia, unlucky not to have scored from this attempt. Look at the pass between the two defenders. Took the defender by surprise with his sudden acceleration, the number 9, Tarun Slathia. He was held back. He's got impeccable balance, the number 9. Brushing off the challenge and unleashing that shot, which struck the outside of the post and going out. He will be very unlucky with himself, Tarun Slathia. And nearly doubling the lead for Punjab before heading in to the half-time break. We are just a couple of minutes away from the regulated 45 minutes in the first half. A few minutes of injury time will be added on as well in the first half. There had been a few stoppages in the first half. It's been a very entertaining game. Once again, this time bombing down the left channel. He's got a man racing from the far side, picks out the number 9 instead. He's got the number 10 alongside. The clearance coming off Amarpreet and ends into the feet of the Haryana goalkeeper David Chauhan. They are trying to slow down the tempo of Haryana. Sanjay Singh, one of his strategies to kill the momentum that Punjab is building time and again. His side on the back foot in the dying embers of the first half, even though they managed to make some recovery midway through the first half, but relinquished possession in the last 10 minutes, seeing a lot more of the ball, the men in yellow. They are quite comfortably pulling the strings from midfield. On the flip side, Haryana, completely toothless. Ramandeep not getting the kind of support that he would have expected from Bikas Dalal and Vinay and Ashish, the skipper, the assistant referee, confirming that 4 minutes added on in the first half, 240 seconds time for Haryana to grab an equalizer before going in for the break. They got to capitulate the feeling of being a goal down. They've made few remarkable comebacks in the history of Santosh Trophy. At this moment of time, they got to remind themselves of those glorious performances that they have put up in the past. Their head coach Sanjay Singh will try to revive the spirits of his team in the second 45 minutes as long as the score line is within reach. Haryana very much in with a shout. It's not all lost doom and gloom. The entire second 45 minutes left and 3.5 minutes in this half yet to be played. Punjab mostly given impetus to attack down the right using the number 7 Jashandeep. And Mohammad Asif as well joining in on the overlap and creating 2v1 situation on the left channel of Haryana, trying to outnumber Manjeet. Here is Mukesh. The flag has gone up. A free kick for Punjab. A couple of minutes left in this half. The heavyweights of Santosh Trophy proving their dominance once again in the Group B fixture of the North Zone qualifiers. Here is Lagwinder. He's got a man close to him in the number 8. Ashish is shifting it to wide position for Vishal. He's slowing down the pace of the game. And outside of the boot pass into the chest of Ramandeep. That was too heavy for him to control. And also the fact that he took his eyes off the ball. Conceding a free kick. Here is Haryana. They are giving away possession time and again with erratic passing, to be honest with you guys. Here is God of Negi. A nice press from behind. Punjab winning the ball back. Jashandeep taking his time on the ball. Picks out the number 5, Baljit. Here is Rajat Kumar. Smacks it out wide on the right. And that pass was too long for the number 19 to control. It was Jaginder Singh. 75th edition of Santosh Trophy. The final rounds just a month away. West Bengal successfully conducting the last edition. Referee blows the half-time whistle. Punjab leading by a solitary goal against Haryana in the Group B fixture. This is of course the second game of the day in the North Zone qualifiers in the Hero Santosh Trophy. As we go in to the half-time break, it's Punjab 1, Haryana 0. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We will be back as soon as the second half resumes. Till then, stay tuned.